Yo, what's going on, boys? It's your man back with another figure review. Now, today we have SH Figuarts Bardock. This guy is a tremendous figure, and I think he even looks it. Ooh, that nice booty deep. All right, let me just first start off. We're gonna take a nice look at the box. I just tried to record this, and the box fell down the abyss there, so I'm gonna move it a little bit farther forward. So it is just the usual SH Figuarts box. There's nothing different about it. Same old over here with some product shots. I think they're really starting to fit in with these boxes. I don't think they're ever going to change it anytime soon. Not much to say about the box. Just trying to think of literally anything. The box, looking good. Bardock box. So now bringing back the only part we caring about. This guy, first the paint and sculpt on this guy, I think it's great. The shiny plastic they used, well, I guess it would be more shiny paint they used on his armor looks really good. The one problem I'd say with it is it picks up fingerprints like crazy. You really can't see it that bad in the video, but in real life, it picks up fingerprints like a new phone screen. And all the paint on it's really good. I feel like there's a whole lot of high detail. And overall, I think the paint looks really good on this figure. And sculpt-wise, too. I think sculpt is super duper accurate. And the detail of the legs and all the muscles, you can really see it like I was saying with the booty shot. In the light, you can really see all the high detail on the muscles, all the armor. I think that this has a lot of good detail and looks very good. For accuracy, I've heard that the armor is not the right color. I'm not sure about that. I'm not really sure. I don't know if it's the right color or not. You're gonna have to look in yourself. I don't know what original Bardock looks like, or which Bardock this is even supposed to be. So that's the only thing I have to worry about with paint. But other than that, the paint is all good. The sturdiness too is very good on this shiny paint. I haven't had any problems. When you first open it, there's a little thing that says areas to watch out for. They were around here, like all around the thing, over here at the waist and with these flaps. So if you purchase this figure, just be very careful with how you move it, how hard you are with it, because they warn you about the paint, and I'm also warning you. So you know it's a very important thing to keep very good track of. All right, so articulation on this guy. Very good articulation. Some of it is a little bit tight, but you do what you do with a new figure. So with the head here, he looks up that far, looks down that far using both the neck and the head. Of course, you get your little bit of pivot, but this is more of a turn the head with the joint kind of figure. It's not a ball joint, it's I don't even know what you'd call it. The peg coming off the line, I don't know. So at the arms, they move all the way around. He's got a nice butterfly joint. It looks a little goofy from the back when you have it all the way out, but other than that, it works really well, and it doesn't look the worst. Other than that, it looks pretty gross. At the shoulder, if you move it upright, it gets perfectly above 90, just a little bit. There's a bicep swivel, and this is the main problem I've been having with the figure. The bicep swivel is just kind of annoying. You move the arm, and the bicep piece isn't connected to the joint, so you kind of have to move them both, or only the joint will move and then the bicep piece will stay. And it is just annoying to move this thing. It's very crunchy, very stiff. But of course you get your all the way around, and it does work good. It works as intended. It's just a little iffy to do it with. And I have seen a lot of other people have this same exact issue, and I think it is just a normal issue for the Bardock. So for the bicep, or not bicep, got a double jointed elbow, works pretty good. I think the arms look a little goofy on this guy, especially once you get them like bent. I feel like the mid joints look a little weird, but you get a lot of utility out of them, so I think it's kind of worth it. At his hand here, you have your hinge that obviously goes whatever direction it's facing. This way it's kind of an angle. Then it's on a ball joint, so you get your swivel. Coming to the torso here. At the chest, we have our joint that works very well. I want to be very careful trying to show it off here, just because I don't want to scratch no paint. But at the side, he goes back extremely far. He goes very nicely forward. You get a little bit of gappage, but that's not that bad. You should be very careful with the moving up and down, because the body kind of comes out a little bit. then you can push it back in and it kind of sits closer. So I'd say if you're moving it, stretch it out a little bit, go over so you're not hitting any of the white paint that outlines any of this, because that is what will get scratched up really easily. Ooh, set it up nice, it looks very good. You do get your swivel here. It is just a ball joint. Ooh, a little crunchy. So whatever you want with this, you can get. Now moving down to the waist, there is a waist swivel. Let me put those up. Waist swivel and the usual ball joint there for some nice articulation. At the flaps, all it is a hinge, so they can go up and down. It kind of sucks, you can't remove them, and there's no swivel at all. So these do kind of get in the way a little bit when you're moving the legs. They actually get in the way a lot. It kind of sucks because if you could just pop them off, it would make it so much easier, because you could just pose them and then kind of pop them back on. But there is no way to get them off unless you really want to kind of customize it, or I guess break it, but I'm not going to do that. At the tail, it's a little disappointing. It's a separate piece. There is no like separate tail you could put on. It's just a piece like a belt that's glued around, and it slots into the little tail port here. It looks good, but it's just kind of sad that there's no other tail, or it's not an actual tail on him. It's just a belt, which I would rather have had the peg in the back for a tail, just because I know Bardock really doesn't do that. Like, you never see him with the tail unwrapped. But I still think it would be something nice to have, a little bit of extra stuff. Moving down to the legs, he kicks forward, ooh, very, very far. But again, it does rub against this fin here. So I'd say be very careful for paints and stuff, because this will ruin it, especially if you're given the force to move the leg. Be very, very careful. So it goes very nicely far forward. If you don't crunch it, he kicks very well back too. Very good leg articulation. If you didn't have these, it would be amazing leg articulation. Comes out to the side, a little bit below 90, not too bad. Couldn't really pull the splits off, but not bad for the out on these, because sometimes these legs, they don't really go out that far. There is a thigh swivel here, and then at the knee, nice double jointed knee, works very, very well. And then no boot swivel, I guess it would be, but at the foot it's on a ball joint, so you get your swivel, you get your pivots, you get your forwards and your back. These are probably some of the best ankles. I think my favorite ankles are probably the double ball joint, because you can just get so much more movement out of them, and they're so smooth to move. It's not like the stick that goes into the foot where it's kind of off to the side and stuff. I think it just looks really good. And then to finish off the articulation, of course, got a nice little toe joint. It can go very far, which is really good, and it doesn't go down at all, which I'm a fan of, because when they go down, it kind of makes it normal standing poses look weird, but it doesn't, and it goes up, and you can pretty much get all the toe you'd need with this. Very good articulation on the toe. So, setting this guy back up in his place here. The articulation overall is pretty good. I think other than the couple of issues it has with like pieces scraping or rubbing, I think it's very good. So because if you take it easy with it, there is no problems. You just need to be wary about paint rub, and these fins are pretty bad with that, because if you have them down and you move it, they get kind of caught on each other, and it's just a bad move. Ooh, that was a bad move. But back to what I was saying, be very careful with these fins. They are probably the most delicate part, right next to the bicep swivel up here. So be very careful with these two parts, and for paint rub. It is kind of a figure you gotta be worried about when you're using it. Like, you can't just grab him and start posing him. You gotta be careful with the articulation. Some of the paint spots you gotta be worried about. But I don't think that even takes it away from the figure much at all, because everything else all really comes together to make a really good figure. So moving him out of the way, and we'll start on accessories. So we'll start with the hands. He has, obviously, his fists. They look really good. Every hand has the wrist wrap on it, the red. And they look very good. Here you have the, I guess you just open palm key hand. These are hands I'm so glad he came with, because these are the kind of hands I think every Dragon Ball figure would come with, because literally every single character can just shoot a basic ki blast, and I think so many figures don't come with it, and it's just so annoying, because it's such a good dynamic hand. He, of course, comes with one for each side on this hand, so it comes with those open hands. Comes with more of a gripping kind of Kamehameha hand. And of course, got the good detail on them. I don't know if they're just straight reuse, like if they just added the wrist piece to any of them. I'm not sure. It looks like it's new sculpt, which is good. There you go. Looks very nice. Decent skin detail too. It's got some shading and stuff on it to give it some more detail. Of course, you get one of these for each hand. And then on top of that, for the right side of him, you get another one of them that has the hole in it for our next accessory, which is his blast. And this, it's you can't really see it there, but there's a shape. It's a special shape, so you got to put it in the right way, which this is something I'm kind of a fan of, kind of not, because it goes in really easy, but once you get it in, it stays in. It's hard to get it off. And I would kind of rather have had it if it was circular, because then you could kind of, I don't know, it would just be easier to spin it around, easier to take it in and out. But it might just sit stronger in there like this. So, I mean, it's not a bad thing. Let me see if I can. Ooh, yeah, you got to put some force. It goes in really easy. It just comes out a little hard. And this, of course, looks really good with the Bardock. Taking him over here. Whipping off the arm. Ooh. All of these hands switch pretty easy. Newer SH Figuarts really have no issues with hands switching. And there you can see, it looks really good. And it's cool that he came with an effect, because I know a lot of the time Figuarts don't come with effects. They really like to stick with nothing. But the effect's cool, and it does look really good. Let me just rip the hand straight off here so we can get a nice up-close look at it. The blue is nice if it's blue. The coloring on it looks good, and the texture does too. It's kind of like that smooth, like water. It looks like he's literally holding water in his hand. It looks cool. And I think it's a very nice effect too. Besides the fact that the hand has this, you can use it for other figures. You just kind of have to plug that hand piece in between the figures, or fingers of the figure. Like slide it in between the fingers so it'll stay. Like some classic stuff when things never used to peg in. Instead, you would put them in the hand. So now moving on to, we'll do some interchangeable faces first. First face he comes with, you can see, just a generic stern kind of staring face. And of course he has the Scouter too. I think the Scouter looks really good, the green Scouter. It just doesn't have any writing on it, so it's pretty, I don't know if they would do that, but it would be cool to have a little something. You can see the face with the Scouter. And then the next face he comes with is the iconic smirk. I think all the faces look really good, and they look just like Bardock. I think they did a really good job getting the likeness of him. Here's the face, looks really good. It's got the scar, of course. And then next we have, well, we'll go for teeth gritting face. This one is probably my least favorite. I think it just looks really goofy. It kind of has that, like the teeth don't look the best. Let me see if I can get this to focus on these teeth. But I don't think they look the best. It's, I'm not sure why, because it's a decent head sculpt all around, but the teeth just kind of ruin it for me. I think they look a little weird. Still a good head sculpt to come with, though. Another one for just more posability. Then this one I do like is just his straight screaming face. I think it looks really good. And again, they got the likeness right. Like, this looks just like out of the movie or show or 2 manga panels. And I think for the faces, they look really good. The one thing I'm upset about is I kind of wish it did come with a Super Saiyan head, because the accessories for $55, I don't know if you can still get them for $50, but I found them retail. It's kind of a little bit lacking. Like, if they had just an extra head and maybe even cut out this face and just give us a different Super Saiyan one, I think that would have been perfect. That would have been like the perfect amount of accessories for the price. But we're not done yet. We're not done yet. So I'll pull his head off quick. All right, I guess I got the neck with it. Didn't expect that to happen. But here we got Bardock head and neck. So we got to pop off his head here to interchange the faces and the Scouter itself. The Scouter plugs into the side, and you get the bandana. In the bandana, you only have one of them. You have to switch it from face to face. But as you can see here, say I wanted to do, we'll do the smirking face. And if I want to put the other accessory on it, you just plop that on there. And the other accessory he comes with is, it's going to be very hard to see, but it's an ear. It's the ear for the scouter side. So he comes with the ear and then the hair that goes all the way down on this part. We'll do a quick comparison. You can see it's very minuscule difference, but it's, I guess, cool that they came with it. You can see this, the one way on the end just kind of flops down more instead of in. But if you want to change those, you have the face here. You have to plug the ear in to the side of the head. There is a hole right there. Bow. Nice. And then to get it all to fit, just bring it over here. There's a special hole in the hair for the ear to sit in. You can't see it at all. But you just line it all up, peg it on there, and I think it looks really good. Let me put the right hair on. And then boom. I think this helps with the less accessories thing. It's not the biggest thing, but it does help just a little bit because you can now have them with no scouter or with the scouter. And of course, the scouter is its own piece. You can have him holding it, but the back, the pegs look a little weird. So if you can hide the pegs, it'll definitely look good in his hand. But there you go. You got that's how you switch the ear in. And those are his last accessories. He does not come with anything other than that. But I don't think that's really a bad thing, because if you can get him for retail, he comes with enough. But some of the aftermarket prices are a little bit high, and I feel for that, unless you really like the character and really want the figure, I wouldn't really purchase it then, because I'm not sure how hard he's going to be overall to get. But for retail, not bad at all. Okay, so for some comparisons here, we'll start off with the only other Bardock figure I have, the Figuarts Standard. And you can really tell the difference here. Let me frame them up a little bit better than that. But you can really tell the difference because this is where the color comes through. Whatever one you like, I guess, is the one you got to go for. But I think altogether, the Figuarts one easily blows the Figuarts out of the water, which usually you would expect. But sometimes you get mixed up. Sometimes they surprise you with these Figuarts. But yeah, of course, Figuarts is better. That's just easy to know. And now for some more, I guess, random-ish comparisons. I finally decided to finish this Nightmare Bonnie, or at least kind of customize him. He doesn't look right, but you know, whatever. And then movie Venom. So if you guys, of course, I think this figure would stick in just in any display, you know, the usual stuff, like any display. If you just have a bunch of random figures, I think this guy would fit in perfect, well, not fit, but be an addition perfect, because he sticks out and he's such like a good looking figure. It fits in with really anything. So now moving these guys out of the way. And now for some other Dragon Ball figures. Here is Kaioken Goku and Figuarts Future Gohan. Just some random comparisons just to get some height. Now, next to Goku, I think the height does look good. I don't think we've ever seen them together, but I'd kind of think of them as around the same height. Maybe Bardock a little bit taller or something. But I think the scale looks really good. And I'm not sure. I definitely don't have the first form Frieza, but I don't know how well they scale. I'm not sure, because the Frieza is very small, and the Bardock looks normal sized. So unless they kind of scaled that to fit, I'm not sure. All right, so now just for some figures from the same line-ish, SH Figuarts, you know, SH. We've got Thanos here, a little bit big. Oh, this was not a smart move. And a little bit bigger. Got Shin Godzilla here. So bringing it all the way out. Ooh, try not to drop it. There you go. He sure does scale next to him. I think these guys, this one doesn't really fit. I feel like the three figures are too different. I don't know if this would be a display. And if you're a big Shin Godzilla, Bardock, and Thanos fan, this display just won't work. I'm sorry to break it to you. But he does look good with these other figures. They fit in the high quality kind of thing. The weird part is, though, the articulation schemes on a lot of these figures are completely different. Well, these two are kind of close. They're more ball joint based, and they're more like double joint based. But it's cool to just see the different kind of figures a line can put out. Obviously, different people make these figures, sculpt them and everything, the paint. But it's cool to see what lines do, like comparing Marvel Legends to whatever other figures Hasbro makes. I think it's just cool to see it. So, moving these guys back out of the way. Let me, need 2 hands for this guy. All right. Now, fixing it up a little bit here. Bringing him in for some final thoughts. Definitely a great figure. It's like I said, though, if you can't find it for retail, which I'm not sure how much it is now. Last time I checked to get them aftermarket, it was around $70. I don't think that's worth it really at all. That's really expensive for the kind of nothing he comes with. You can get a lot better figures for that price. But if you can get them for retail, oh my god, 100% recommend it. It's a great figure. And I just realized that this video is over 20 minutes again. I'm not sure how I keep making 20-minute videos, but I guess we're just going to keep going with them. So, alright. Thank you guys so much for watching. I had a great time with this review. It is a great figure. I would 100% recommend it if you can find it at a reasonable price. Or I guess if you're just a big Bardock fan. So, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Not too sure what the next review is actually going to be. Completely forgot, but, you know, enjoy. Have a good one.